home, path to resilience.
Hey, it's Melissa with Community Solutions, host of Pathways to Resilience. Here are some resiliency reflections from the episode I just recorded with Alex. Alex is from the Asian American community, from the queer trans, identifying as queer and trans, and also as neurodivergent. So many inspiring moments throughout my conversation with them. They are 20 years old and so incredibly wise. I was telling them when we were done that they come from their heart with such grace and wisdom. So I hope you'll check it out. Just a few takeaways to share. One was when I asked Alex what resiliency was, they said being authentic in a world that's doing everything in its power to not let you be you. And specifically speaking from the perspective of trans youth and trans youth in this moment in time in our society. And they talked about how sometimes that authenticity is speaking up and voting on legislation or going to a rally or a protest. And sometimes the most radical acts of self-care are resilience, like waking up and getting out of bed and living in a world, even though that world is challenging your own and debating your very own existence. They also spoke around just our human need for our existence to be loved and supported, that we just to know that we are accepted for all of who we are, that fundamentally, when we see ourselves in our own authenticity, as everything, however we identify, that when we're in community with others who can look at that and say, yeah, I love all of that about you, and I support all of that about you. And then we talked about how do we, in this moment in time, best support queer youth, particularly trans youth. And they really talked about the resiliency, the incredible capacity and skill of young people. And that really, as adults, how do we just use the abilities and tools that we have that they don't have access to because we're adults to facilitate spaces and opportunities for them to feel loved and accepted. And a big piece of that is voting and is impacting legislation because a lot of lawmakers and folks that are historically, there's like over 500 pieces of legislation right now that are going against the existence of particularly trans people. And those legislatures are, as Alex described, counting on adults to kind of go with the flow and to be ignorant on what even it all means. And that fear and ignorance and just will allow those things to move through. And so as allies, how can we say, well, hang on a minute. No. And make sure that we can stop the legislation that's going through and advocate for people to be able to live in their full authenticity. I hope you check out the episode.
Pathways to home, paths